Hi everyone, it's Kendall here. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're not new around here, what is up? Home skillet biscuits. In my last video, I had one comment that really stuck out to me, and it was something along the lines of like, how is Kendall able to be so chipper and she's putting out content? Am I the only one that feels like I'm dying in quarantine? And the irony is that literally 3 minutes after recording my last video, which is Saturday's Bad Movies and a Beat, I burst out into ugly tears on live stream. So I have witnesses to prove that that is not the case. So today I was like, okay, let's do some like makeup therapy. Let's talk about things. One of the cool things about like lamenting your issues is that other people like, yeah, we can talk about them together, especially in this unprecedented time. If I hear those words one more time. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do today. Just talk about life. So I don't know if this is just me, and I highly doubt it. I'm gonna, at this point, if nothing else, one of the things that give me solace is that everyone's life is kind of in the toilet right now in one degree or another, and probably in multiple degrees because they're all connected. So it's like, yes, we are in this together. Tell me some more. Are we in this? Oh, that's a reference. Y'all remember Day 26? Tell me if I was locked down with no money, would you hold it down for me? I just gotta know for sure. So one thing that's giving me solace is that in one way or another, we're all getting hit. But yeah, one of the things about quarantine is that when it rains, it pours. I feel like the first month was really the adjustment period. You know, I was eating a lot. I talked about that in a different Get Ready With Me where I was like, yeah, I've gotten fat. I've not weighed myself, but I think my face is slimmer than it was in that video. I don't know. I don't want to weigh myself and get my hopes up like, actually, you gained an extra 8 pounds. You're just living in a beautiful state of denial. So I don't need that negativity. There's already enough negativity in the world right now. So I'm like, I'm gonna be over here and just focus on the positives. In the last 3 weeks or so, it's definitely been the hardest because everything kind of fell apart at the same time. Like, we were already in quarantine. I was feeling really crappy physically due to the month or two of just straight up eating nothing but garbage. I had my elliptical. I've barely used my elliptical in the last month. So bloated because all I was eating was delivery food because like I need to support the economy by myself. One, this is like really expensive. Two, it's resulting in food in my house going bad because I'm not cooking quick enough. And three, like my waist, don't have one anymore. What I've started as of a few days ago is I'm not gonna be ordering out for at least 2 weeks, at least for 2 weeks. So that's one of the challenges I'm trying to do for myself. And then in the meantime, exercise, sweetie, because you need it for your mental. Like, you need it for your mental. Everyone's been saying, dude, Chloe Ting, I'm so tired of her name. I feel like she's a demon. She don't sweat. Kinda what I'm gonna do after this video, after I'm done editing and everything, is I'm gonna do my stupid Chloe Ting workout. I did 2 of them yesterday, wanted to kill myself. Because it really got me wondering, like, when I do my own workouts and I don't really have a video and I'm not being told what to do, am I even working out? I'm just up there, just a lot of faffing, because I never sweat like that. It was 10 minutes. It was 15 minutes. I don't sweat like that. So I was like, I might need the motivation. I might actually need the motivation of another person. Because I was feeling like crap. And when you feel like crap, you start to see yourself worse. For those of you that follow me on Instagram, you guys may know that currently I am a Fenty ambassador, Savage X Fenty ambassador. So it's like the lingerie line and everything. One of the things about, you know, Savage X Fenty is like loving your body regardless of what it looks like. You deserve to feel sexy. So when I accepted it, I felt sexy. I was working out all the time. I was like, yeah, you're gonna see this ass on the gram, B. But when, you know, the clothes came in and the contracts have been signed and they're like, okay, take pictures. I'm like, I'm real soft and I've been in quarantine for a month. And I barely show my body anyway because it's just a lot of work to get full body pictures when you're this tall. Now you want people to see me in less than even ideal condition. Can you hear my self-esteem falling into the gutter? And that's the thing though. I think the hard lesson that I've been learning, you know, in doing this is that, you know, put up or shut up. I was saying like, okay, I've gained weight, but like, I don't really feel bad about it the way that I have in the past. And I wasn't lying when I said that, but also I wasn't being put into like out of my comfort zone either. So now that I'm being put out of my comfort zone, it's like, put up or shut up, ho. Are you confident or not? And it's like, okay, I'm gonna do my little Chloe tings so that I like have energy and feel better. It actually might be helpful now that I think about it, this whole Fenty thing, in the sense that while I'm doing exercises and filming like myself in like skimpy clothes and stuff, it's like I can see myself. We can see changes in theory, so what it do, baby boo? So yeah, that was its own existential crisis, but like I'm learning to really perform self-comfort, if that makes sense. Like when people are like, I'm comfortable with myself, it's like, are you? What does that look like for every person? It's like there's levels, there's a spectrum of how that's performed, and it's like I'm not at Lizzo level yet. I'm not gonna sit here and be like I am. I'm not comfortable like being like, hey, this is me, ho, but I want to be there, so I'm working on it. But yeah, so that was its own type of stress. Then I had some family emergency stuff that resulted in a family member coming to live with me for the last 3 weeks, and that's been really hard. Whew, that's been really hard. I've never cried so much as I have in the last 3 weeks. And it's not because of the family member as much, it's just there's a lot of mental things that go along for me in relation to having another person in my home. When I moved out, for me, it was such a victory. You know, it's like, I make the rules, I live here, this is my place, I'm 25 and I'm self-sufficient, no roommates, I'm taking care of myself, I'm doing my thing, I'm running my business, I'm that chick and I can be alone. Introverts unite separately, in the words of Evelyn from the internet. And then having like kind of that taken away completely and utterly out of my control was really hard for me mentally. It was really hard. It doesn't help that there's a very complicated relationship with this family member as well, but at the end of the day, I love them so much, and so, but it's been really hard. It's been really, really hard. My mother has also had some health issues for the last few years, but particularly during this whole time, you know, I get scared about if we need her to go to the hospital quickly, like would we be able to find someone, considering the health staff is so overworked and so overbooked with people coming in. That's scary. That's really, really scary. To some extent, like trying to put a rein in on like how I was feeling mentally and physically was really important. So like exercising again, trying to have open communication with friends and stuff. Ooh, am I gonna touch on that? One thing that happened during this whole quarantine season is that I did decide to end a pseudo relationship I was in for about 4 months. You know, we were off and on since January, and it was never really like an official relationship. It was a giant waste of my time. Not completely. I learned a lot in life, but as far as like going through the leaps and bounds to learn a person and then to be like, well, this was a waste of my time, it does kind of suck. Like I said, it was off and on, but one of the silver linings, like I think, of like my life all falling apart at the same time, with like my own health and like taking care of myself, and then the family member coming in, and then health things with my mom, also work things in relation to being like, are you as comfortable as you say you are? There's a lot of like existential crises. I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, yes, this is hard as far as like jobs go, but at the end of the day, I feel like this would be rewarding if for no other reason than I'm getting paid. Like, I love my job. I like money, so it's like, I'ma still do it. My family, though incredibly annoying, I love my family and would like to have a good relationship with them. Me not taking care of myself, that can no longer be on the back burner. That needs to be up front for my own mental health and physical health. This relationship, and I use that with a lowercase r, relationship, yeah, this can go. I sat there and I was like, why am I here? Why am I doing this to myself? And for those of you that have been following me for a while, you know that I'm never dating. I don't date. Like, dating at all is a very like 2020 thing, and that has obviously been put on halt due to this shenanigan. So like, I'm very comfortable with not talking to people and that's fine. I think what the final straw was is I realized that the only reason I was still talking to this person for this long was because I felt like I'd spent so long talking to them, and I very rarely talk to anyone longer than 3 days because people get on my nerves. So I was like, that's a good sign. And also I attract weirdos, and I just had to block 2 weirdos this week. This week, girl, they out here. So I just deleted all my apps. I'm tired. But like, I could stand you for 4 months. That's not very common for me. Once I came to the point where I was like, okay, so what do I get out of knowing you actually? Like, I pay attention to how people react in crises. And I think that's why it was my final straw. Like, I was having a really hard time because of all these things, and he just wasn't a very good support. And I was like, okay. Yeah, this is over. But then once you realize that something needs to end, now you have 2 choices. Do you ghost or do you explode? One really bad habit of mine, and I'm really working on it because I don't think it's a mature and effective way of communication, and I'm very well aware of that. But I have a really bad habit of holding on to things that tick me off and then exploding. Now, the reason I do it is because I'm trying to not be mad all the time. I'm trying to not check people all the time. Like, hey, you did this wrong, you did that wrong. And then I'm trying not to be super critical. But what happens is when I get that last straw, and that last straw probably isn't even as bad as the other things that they've done, but that last straw just sends me over the edge. And then I'm like, okay, I gotta say something. So like, that's kind of what happened with this guy. We get to the last straw, and I was like, okay, I know I want this to end, but do I just ghost? Which isn't particularly mature either. I was like, if I ghost him, he gonna be like, oh, well, we just kind of lost touch. But if I rage, you know I'm mad. I don't know what I get out of you knowing I'm mad, but it didn't stop me from raging. But is anyone else like this? Like, you rage, but then you still don't like being the bad guy, so to speak? Or I don't even know if it's you being the bad guy, but you don't like being confrontational. I hate confrontation. I hate it so much. And so, but the problem with that is like, you hold grudges as opposed to just saying how you feel so people can change. Or like, you have things that you want, and you have parameters that you want, and you stick to them. But yeah, even after I was like, I have a very legitimate reason to cuss you out right now, I still felt bad. I was like, well, maybe we can be friends. And then it just became like a mutual gasting. We just stopped talking to each other. I was like, yeah, it's over. Whenever you get to the point where you're asking yourself, like, why am I in this relationship? Like, why am I here? I think you're already 1 foot out the door, dude. It's been rough. Have I said that already? Because it has been. I guess I say all that to say, we've all been feeling it. And it's not just because of quarantine, and it's not just because you're socially isolated, or to some extent, some places are acclimating to getting more comfortable with like having some outside open. There's a lot that goes into being separated from society for 3 months or something like that. Some of that good, some of that bad, some of that good coming from the bad, some of it being the forced self-awareness that we've had. I've had my rest during this quarantine. I've had my pity parties during this quarantine. I'm kind of on a bit more of a productivity kick right now. And like I said in my first video, don't feel like this time has to be super productive if that's not where you're at right now. I feel like that's where I'm at right now. Maybe I'll do one of those programs from TING the Demon. That's what I'm gonna call her from now on. TING the Demon. Like, I want to work towards a goal right now. I think that's where I'm at. But yeah, this time is a lot of like questioning yourself and questioning like what life will be like after this. And it's okay to be sad, and it's okay to be angry, and it's okay to be mournful, and it's okay to make changes right now. I feel like one good thing that has come from this is that it's forced me to look at things objectively and make changes that I probably wouldn't have made before. All of those things are so important, and I just want you guys to take care of yourself. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on all my social media, Instagram and Twitter, both of which are KennieJD, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.